Epic Action, a Star Wars Unlimited podcast. Your source for community building, tournament tips, deck building discussion, and all things Star Wars Unlimited.
All right, and welcome back to another episode of Epic Action, a Star Wars Unlimited podcast. We've been gone for a bit, but this is the return of the Epic. I'm your host, Raul. With me, I got Nick and Paul. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. We good?
Yeah. I got the plague still hanging on here. After Richmond Sector, I got a pretty sick. Yeah. everyone in my office had. I was telling these guys earlier, like someone will start coughing and just down the row, everyone starts going. So it's been good. Feeling a little better, but it's part of the reason we've been away. We've just been recovering, but we're back. And why don't we kick it off with our icebreaker? So I know Nick has been going to the Caps versus Canes game over at in DC.
Yeah.
Been having a good time there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I went to game 1, game 2. So I got to see the Canes win game 1. Pretty dominating performance there. Logan Thompson, though, was playing out of his mind. He played out of his mind in game 2 as well.
Okay.
Caps took it. So
heard something about a Canes player leaving the net wide open. I don't know. I don't watch sports very much, but my boss's boss was there, and she was saying that there was all of like 2 Canes fans in the house. And I'm wondering if it was you guys. I don't know if you were there with a friend.
No, there was a lot of Canes fans in the house. Sure. I don't know what she was talking about. There was at least 4 right behind me.
Okay, at least 4 Canes fans in the house.
But like I'm just. Yeah, they did not sell out. I'll say that. Yeah. There were a lot of. I was surprised. So it's far cheaper. Like the cheapest tickets were only $100 to go there, but the cheapest tickets for Carolina right now are $260.
Okay, are you going down there?
Standing, not for $260. I was trying to go when I could still get them for like $160, but that. They canceled my ticket purchase because all my billing addresses are up here now and not down in that area. So, but yeah, no, right now the standing room only is going for like 180 and everything's like 260 or above. I think even just for like nosebleed. I mean, I sat in the nosebleed at Capital One. It was, closer to 100.
Okay. Well, this week's question is kind of inspired by that. I was wondering if you had a sports ball team. What would be your Star Wars theme mascot?
I think I decided to go with Bespin Space Whales.
There we go. The
they love the gas, so I figured Bespin was a good planet for that.
Okay.
And then I just ready for space whales with lightsabers coming to a SWU game near you.
For sure. They haven't. I don't think they've released it yet, but I know they teased that we're getting the space whales there.
Yeah, they did. And they also teased you could put lightsabers on them because they're not vehicles.
That'll be fun. I wonder if I know they were talking about printing the biggest creature. I wonder if it's going to be them, like the biggest unit card that we've seen yet. So you'd think it's them. They're pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think. Obviously, the Zillo Beast is really big.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, and then Bendu is really big, but does he count as a creature? I don't know.
Yeah. Cool.
Interesting. We'll see, I guess.
Well, I actually don't know the name of their species, but I picked the little Salacious Crumb. I think his little little sound effect he makes, the noise, combined with the face that he makes just kind of makes for a nice intimidating mascot. So it's like that meme where it has the 3 people on the medal on the medal first, second, third place.
Yeah.
It's so my team's gonna be on that 3rd place, but we're gonna be showing off a little crumb guy so yeah. Yeah. What about you, Paul?
Me, my first instinct, and we might have given you a picture for Rancors, man, but the more time I spend on it, I'm like, where are Rancors native to, right? What's the sports team that Rancors are gonna do, right? So I was thinking I just have to resend my first offer some type of Rain Corps mascot here, and we're gonna go with something that would be with tauntauns. Like there's got to be the Hoth Tauntaun team, right?
Okay, well, I don't have the red screen, but no tauntaun, but okay. Just because you guys are smelly, you're gonna went through knocking them out from
smelly.
That's right.
Very good. Okay, I like it. Awesome. So it's been a while. A little spoiler there, but we're about to talk about another spoiler. We had the Richmond Sector 2 weeks ago now. It was a big event. At the time, it was the largest SWU event that's happened. So that was pretty awesome to be part of. Big number. We had like just shy of 600, I think. Like 597, something like that.
Yep,
yeah,
598.
So it was fun. It was packed. I had a good time. We went down there. We rented a Airbnb house. Celebrated Nick's birthday Saturday night. Had a good time. So if we go back, I'm sure I'd like to get the house again and chill down there.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Yeah,
maybe a house with more than one bathroom though next time would be nice.
Fair.
Or somebody could just agree to take less than 20-minute showers.
Yeah.
Those
tauntauns. So what did you guys think about the event?
I thought
for me, I had a great time at the event. There's a lot of people there, and we got to mix and mingle with a lot of people. We got to talk to the OP folk. I know that we probably talked about wanting to do an interview with them, and that might be a spoiler for the future or something. But got to kind of touch base with those guys, and I don't know if Nick's feed's broken.
That's right.
Out here.
We'll be back, I'm sure.
But I mean, there was a lot of people there, a lot of Virginia people, and being one of the travelers in Virginia between the three of us, like I know you guys do some traveling up and down, but going from Newport News, Williamsburg, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth up to Curio, all the way up in Franconia Road and Woodbridge and Fairfax area to right here at home in Fredericksburg. So got to see locals from all over the place and see a lot of people that I knew, and that was really cool just to see everybody come out to Richmond for that.
And it's a event. Culmination of the last couple of months of meeting people, talking to people, and a lot of like fellow content creators that are there. Team Secret who did really well. Spoiler, we had Team Secret Michael. He was top 2. So we won't talk too much about the the results, but basically Sabine ECL won the weekend, and he was going against Quinlan.
He was undefeated all the way up to the last match.
Yeah, sometimes it's that little spike damage. So that match, you can catch that on I think Late Night Gaming was the one streaming that, but it's available, and if you want to check that out, see how that went for him. Had a great time. We met a lot of other content creators. We met Golden Dice Podcast. We met who else is there? And I got the little token here. It's hard to see, but they were giving out these tokens if you beat one of the Golden Dice Podcast guys. So that was cool. I
played 2 of the McClunky guys.
McClunky was there. Bothan Network.
There was a lot of teams there, to be honest, and even maybe not even content creators, from what I understand. There was people from South Carolina, people from Tennessee that all came in very dressed to the nines, almost jersey style.
We had our jerseys. We were looking pretty fresh.
I think so. I think we definitely stood out.
They came in the day before we left, so that was a close call, but we got our shipment from China of our baseball and hockey jerseys. So got the picture here. We'll let me pull it up. Yeah, we had a nice little group. We had Jeff from Pork Depot joining us, honorary member, and obviously our friends and family from our locals all came out and supported, and we all did fairly okay. I think a bunch of us went 5-3, including myself. We were in it all the way till the end, so I was playing my Piet blue deck, and my losses were, go figure, Quinlan and Sabine, and my third loss was to very first loss of the day was to Luke Pilot player, and that's because he played it really good, but my deck I just rebuilt it, so I didn't have a play until turn 6 or 7 because all my ships decided to be on top of my deck for my draws, so I just had a bunch of capital ships in my hand, nothing else to play. So that was rough. Yeah,
it happens.
What else? The prize wall was pretty good. They definitely took the feedback from Denver a couple weeks ago and made everything much more affordable, accessible. They added some cool goodies to it. So walk in and I see the 4-player Twin Suns mat, and it's only 600 tickets, and I ask him, "Is this the right price?" He's like, "Yep." Yeah. So I me and Normal combined our tickets and we grabbed them before they ran out because they only had I'm also 10 maybe. So now I got my own Twin Suns mat. Excited to play with that. The promo cards, the t-shirt, the pins, they were all reasonably priced, and I think if there was something there you really wanted, just had to play 1 or 2 events and you could definitely get it.
Yeah,
I know we did some grinding on Sunday afterwards to get all our tickets, a couple on-demand pods, which I think were fairly reasonably priced.
Not bad.
Yeah,
but I think maybe the ticket price, the payout for the prices, maybe is still a little, but. I think the one problem I had on Sunday was just some of the pods just waiting to go off. I took the camera around, just filming random stuff for an hour and a half, just waiting for a game to start.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my only real, I don't want to call it a complaint. It's not really a complaint, but room for improvement is the people who went, who are 5-2, right on the bubble, and then hey, you lose your last game, and then you just end up with no real tickets or anything, and then you're starting fresh from zero. Probably should have played that competitive 3-rounder or whatever, 4-rounder, whatever it was. That probably would have been the best payout there. But I think at that point, most of us, I know I was just I'm kind of done with competitive rounds. If
I'll play some fun drafts.
Yeah, I'd rather play some fun drafts.
Yeah, I think I did 3 on-demand drafts and Twin Suns on-demand, and then actually played in a Twin Suns event, which was funny. Ruben from the Twin Suns was in my second player. Well, first off, first pod was me, Paul, and Norma. So that was we had an odd number, and we have to get messed up. No, it was we were playing the event, not the on-demand one.
Oh,
yeah, we played. It was an odd number. Just having the 3 of us got into a pod, and everyone else had 4 people in their pod. But I think they allotted an hour and a half for the game, and we were done in 20 minutes because there's only 3 of us, and felt bad. I had to take Paul out, not once but twice.
Yeah, it hurt every time too.
Yeah, so he got put into the winner's pot as well for a redemption chance, and I had to take him out. But
they hate when I have the plays, man. Every time I have the plays,
you just keep dropping the big ships or the big Boba with the Darksaber or something silly. So he had to come after you. But it was a fun game. Ruben and I ended up tying for first place. We had a Kingmaker who dealt damage in such a way that him and Ruben and I both ended up with the exact amount of damage on our base. So as per the Twin Sun rule, we were both considered first place winners, but we tried to go over to the judges and be like, hey, we're both technically winners, so shouldn't we all both get 400 tickets?
Nope. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you guys split the tickets. We're like, oh, fine. But we tried it. It's fine. But technically, according to the Twin Suns rules, this is casual. If 2 people are tied exactly, they're just both winners. Everyone wins. Everyone has fun.
Yeah, everybody gets their participation trophy.
Yeah. So that was good. I ended up getting like all the stuff I wanted, which was I got the Poe deck box. I got the Kylo play mat. I already had all the pins, so I didn't really get any of those. But yeah. I know Paul walked away with a card port. Yeah.
I definitely did. I walked out with the card port.
Talking about that for months.
I was happy about that.
Just need the one more to two more to go. 2 more, okay. Well.
Yep, I'm gonna get one from Raul. Fortunate for me, and one more for set 3. They're gonna be mostly useful at rotation, man. I'm gonna put my rotating sets in the cardboards, put them on the shelves. They're gonna look nice, and when we go to a Twin Suns build, it'll be really easy to access.
Cool.
Yeah.
What else want to talk about?
You wanna let us talk about how we finished up? You got to talk a little bit. So I ended up playing Asajj Data Vault. Probably the only real Asajj player there. I went all the way to I was 5 and like kind of highlighted earlier. It was 5-2 going into the final round. Somehow pulled it off. Didn't convert that final round. We went into game 3, Sabine ECL versus one of the McClunky gaming guys, and I probably misplayed the first game, which probably cost me the whole match. But it was. I felt like in every game, as long as I didn't have a bad like mulligan, I could beat. I was in it for most of every game. I see everybody's kind of doing the data vault thing now. Be careful on your mulligans, especially if you're playing to the late game. I think it was the Sabine ECL or the Sabine data vault that we may have seen in the next section here. Maybe a little different because you're playing a lot more lower to the ground and you're not worried about like, hey, extending it out. But if you're playing any kind of like blue-green late game, be very careful with your mulligans there, because that's going to be a struggle if you're just not getting a couple of turns off. I think there was the first game I lost, that was what kind of did me in. I was playing Anakin Colossus, and when I got to turn 3 and could finally make a play, it was pretty much done from there. There was no coming back. So that kind of sucked in game 2, and it's like, man, I wish I could have just had a decent draw and like lost because I just happened to lose, and not because, hey, there's nothing I can do. So, but it happens, and I think that happened, maybe 2 or 3 times during that whole, 8 games. So, something to look out for if you're trying to build one of those decks.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful with your mulligans. Versus the other side of when I was playing, was it Iden Blue or Iden Colossus? Was like, yeah, just go ahead and mulligan. Don't be afraid. But yeah, Data Vault, be a little bit more afraid to mulligan.
Fair. What was your most memorable game?
Ooh. I don't know the most memorable, but it's definitely like different. Vader Yellow, and just how wide it got on me, and like how I had to play just very different style than the other games I was playing. I had to make sure I was not resourcing space vehicles. I was not just trying to go ground and beat them there, because if I did, it at times just overwhelmed so much of it, especially if they exhaust any of my units and stuff like that. So, but then you got to know I think it was how much do I remove? How much do I kind of stay pat, and then at what point to step on the gas and just race it because it wasn't going to like mill or anything like that.
This is Vader, Pilot Vader?
Pilot Vader, yeah. Cool. And then I was using Pilot Massage, Blue Massage from the new set. Yeah. I would say if you're using her, look to use her on the ground. With Grit, it sucks that she's a 4/6 coming out on 6, but there was a lot of times where, hey, there's nothing on the ground, and hey, I can get 1-2 swings in before they do anything. Or, what's great is like they put out Han, you hit Han for 4, and now, cool, you're an 8-2 versus their 4-2 looking back at you. And so it just opened up some different options on the ground. I think every time I tried to play her as a pilot, there was a lot more hate towards it. So, yeah, definitely some learn to play. Like, I even brought her out, I think, 8-9 resources at times. I was not quick to always bring her out. I'm getting better. I think that's one thing I learned is like you don't always have to bring your leader out right away. Flip. Sure. Sometimes there's better times than advantage. So like I'm always very quick to just flip and go. I'd be like, screw it. If you can take it out, you can take it out. If not, I hit you for it. But trying to be more tactical with that.
Fair. Cool. Nice. Paul, how's your experience there? Your matchups?
Yeah. At sectors? I had a good time. I played with a lot of good people. My match losses are right as what I anticipated them to be, which were Han Green. The one that kind of ended the tournament for me was my probably least anticipated match out of the ones that I got to play. I think I played 2 Han Greens and that I lost against. I don't really remember my win. Sorry, guys.
In a few weeks. It's fine.
Yeah. But the other loss that I had was before Red. And that's a very punishing deck against Luke and your shield tokens, and I was shooting for that showcase. And I felt like I had a really good build with Luke, and I had some spice to it. But going up against aggression is a terrible card against Luke, man. It's like, get rid of your upgrades, take this damage, and they just kind of smacked me. And I knew that was when it was time to walk away. Like, you hit that third loss. I think I went 2-3 before I dropped. 2 wins, 3 losses. And 2 Han Greens seemed identical. Great plays. But when you're on, turn 4 and Empy's Nest hits, it's really hard to deal with. And that's the great part about Han Green. So no hard losses there. Had a great time in the side events. Had a lot of fun with a lot of people. And I got to walk away with the card port, along with all the awesome promos and the Obi promos.
I was going to say that Obi one was real nice. So, speaking of your opponents, someone you played next to, you want to give a shout out to Drew Medor. He had sent us a message on our Facebook, and he just said he had a great time meeting you, and something about your little kiddos psyching him out, so you were messing around.
Yeah. We had a little bit of banter back and forth. I had a good time, and I don't remember exactly what round it was, but we were paired up with younger children. It was probably right after the first loss, right? Like, lost my first round to Han Green, and so going into the 1-1 match, or the 0-1 match, and I have a young kid. He is a young kid. And you just be as polite as possible in that situation. Try to have a good time. And this kid across from him was just, she was giving him the business. She was like, My house is bigger than yours. We got 4 bathrooms. I'm like, dang, 4 bathrooms? How'd you get a beach house in Richmond? Like, this is wild. The biggest house I've ever heard about. And I kind of looked over to him. I was like, man, her house is bigger. Like, she's trying to psych you out. Like, she's getting underneath your skin, buddy. And we just had a little fun banter. That's all. He was a great sport. Had a good time. And the Bova Red player actually is a store owner out of Myrtle Beach. So if you guys have been down to Myrtle Beach and you see any stores down there, that gentleman, he owns a store down in Myrtle Beach. And he was a very nice gentleman, even though he whooped the poop out of me.
Cool. Nice, yeah. I guess I might use quick memorable matches. I did play 2 Palpatine players back to back, and both of them I milled them out with like 30 minutes on the clock still left. Both matches, we were both racing for the ramp, and I just had the vigilances to be able to pull their cards out faster. So, those are probably my highlights. It was just the super quick mills. Cool. Let's why don't we talk a little bit about some of the spoilers coming up for the next set. One thing that they revealed recently was the next convention exclusive. So I got that picture pulled up on screen here. The Droids box, quite different. I think people are expecting like a Jedi or Heroes box to go opposite of the Sith box we got first set. So this is kind of interesting. The treatment they're doing on these are very busy. Like I think they look cool. I don't know if I wouldn't use them in a game because they're just hard to read. But one thing to note is that they actually kind of shadow dropped some cards from set 6. So I think Chopper, and if I'm looking at this right, either BD1 or C-3PO, one of these guys is from set 6. So if you pick that up this year, you'll be holding on for a couple of months before you can actually use it in tournament play. But that's pretty cool. You guys gonna get this box?
I'm not going to get the box, and it's nothing against the convention exclusive. It's just a really busy year, and I'm just trying to keep up this year. And Lord knows I have a bazillion hobbies, and Star Wars being my primary one at the moment. So it's hard to get to the convention with it. Like, there's just a lot going on this year. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the convention. They do look great. There's nothing against the cards here. It's just a price and time issue at this point.
I'm gonna try to scoop it up next if I can.
I might pick it up at the Galactic Championships.
That's right.
But I'm not rushing out to buy it.
Yeah, I don't think
if they're going to be the same $100.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't really like the looks of the cards. The more I look at them, I don't. I think if they were all like a similar color, maybe, and like I like the kind of pointing out the different things on them, like, oh, this is this little piece and part, all that. Like I like the little schematic version of it, but I don't know. There's something about it. It's just not appealing. Like I think the last ones are just so good. It's like hard to.
Yeah, everyone wanted to get that Vader.
And none of them are like spectacular, amazing cards that you're like, yeah, I've got to have this.
Yeah.
It's not the Vaders, it's not the Mauls and all that. So I think that's kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody's got different tastes. I'm just, not a fan of this one.
Fair. Well, maybe people who really want it will get a little bit of a chance to get it. So,
yeah.
Cool. That's right. What do you think,
I'm
Raul?
gonna pick it up. Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up. I want to see them in person, but I think with like the foiling on them, I think they'll really pop. But yeah, it's like. Do
you think they're gonna get the texture?
I doubt it. The last one didn't have the texture, but if they did, that'd be cool. But yeah, I think there's no Vader and there's no Dooku, things that are like staples in the decks I'm playing. So this will truly be like I bought it to display in the binder, have collectors. So yeah.
Are any of the cards of deeper rarity? Like I didn't really take a look at the rarity on them. So, like, are any of these cards legendary in comparison to like what we were getting at other convention exclusives, or were they trying to make them like?
We don't know. None of the ones that have been released so far are legendaries.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So it doesn't look like the other two would really warrant being a legendary.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Yeah, it's don't say that too long, but just figured it'd be cool to show off a little bit. A couple of the spoilers have been out. Like we've seen some in the last couple of days. We've seen Flock of Porgs. That's a really cool card. You can basically, it's a 1-cost card, but then you pay additional to pump it up. So a lot of people talking about how you can use that with ECL because it's a 1-cost card. You pay 5 or 6 more on top of it, and you get a 7/7 that can ambush and kill pretty much any leader. We got a bunch of lightsabers that they're displaying. I think probably one of the biggest show offs has been Darth Revan. Like we saw that list a couple weeks ago of spoilers, and people were not sure if it was real or not. But we got confirmation that they are including some according to them non-canon stuff in the game, like old Sith troopers and HK-47, the original murder bot. Come to the game. So if you're a Knights of the Old Republic fan, you'll be very happy to see them in the game coming out. And it's interesting because Darth Revan is the first monocolor leader, so he's the only villainy. So there, after he got released, I did see a couple of people playing that online, and mixed results. I think we need to see what else is available from the set, but you can certainly build an all villainy deck. I don't know how good it is right now, but it's possible.
Not with that late country nonsense.
Yeah.
I think that's just a poor choice of people trying to make that.
Breaking our challenge bonus, saying late country Revan.
Yeah. He got all upset with me when I was like trying to tell him nah, and then I went and made it, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just kidding," and then 2 seconds later he's making it, and I'm like, okay. Revan's in Clone Wars, no?
No, he got.
I know that, right? But he's mentioned in Clone Wars.
So the only it's really weird. You gotta dig for it, but there was a book released for Return of Skywalker or whatever, the last movie. It was a visual guide that was officially
Skywalker.
Yeah, that movie we don't really talk about too much, but in the visual guide they talk about the different Sith battalions, and one of them was called the Revan Fleet or something. So a really deep cut is technically canon.
Yeah, well, it's a really deep cut because they didn't explain anything they were doing in any of those movies. Out, it's all the Sith troopers and whatnot, and you're like, where the heck did these things come from? Oh, yeah, the new movies that they never explained, or the Knights of Ren, or all these other just
somehow
things that have deep backstories that they never tell you about.
Fair.
And it's like. Yeah. What do you guys? To be honest, though, if you remove those 3 movies from all the stuff that Disney's done, you look back on this a whole lot differently, and you're like, pretty much everything's
pretty good.
Everything's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's really only the last 2. I think The Force Awakens is fine.
Yeah, that was fine as they get the new generation in, rehash the story, but. After that, they really need to. Anyway, we're gonna have a whole episode on.
We'll leave it for another episode.
Yeah, we're good. No, we're all. Yeah, I heard nothing but good things. Andor. I'm on episode 2.
Oh, dude, Andor's great.
Been trying to avoid all the spoilers, so I keep seeing small things here and there, but excited to sit down and watch that. And then we had the Tales of the Underworld drop recently, so our Asajj and Cad Bane stands out there enjoying it. I know Nick and I have only watched the first 3 episodes, which are the Asajj arc.
Yeah, mostly because I hadn't watched. My daughter's loving it, so I didn't want to watch the Cad without her.
Yeah,
but we watched the Asajj arc, and oh my god, that first scene is just
Yeah, so I haven't, but if you've read like the Dark Disciple books, I know all about it. Like her and Quinlan teaming up, and he kind of turns her away from the dark side, and
turns her completely away. She falls in love. She dies. Can't give up killing Count Dooku.
Yeah, so like the first scene's like a direct, like basically what happens after the book, like just directly into Quinlan. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's
half
great.
A day after the book ends.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to see like a heroism Asajj at some point. I'm sure we'll get it. With all the different versions of characters you're getting.
Now that they're doing mono aspect, I feel like I could see her just being a color unit and not like hero or villain leader.
Fair, yeah.
That might be interesting. I mean, obviously, so spoiler, sorry. Her lightsaber's yellow because of Quinlan. So if you haven't read the book, you've had 10 years, so deal with it. But so I don't know, maybe she's a cunning leader without heroism or villainy.
Fair, yeah. She's kind of
maybe we finally get a villainy or heroism base only.
Yeah, and it's had me thinking some cool mechanics. The new hidden mechanic that's kind of popping up in the next set, where you can't attack a unit the turn it got played. Just got me thinking, like, they talk about the Jedi path, which was how the Jedi were surviving. So set up by Quinlan, how they were like, hiding from the Empire, how that could, be a cool mechanic. And like, that's kind of the hidden mechanic in a way. It'd be cool to see like another thing where like, you play a unit, and it kind of, it's not even on the board for a turn. Like you play it, you set it to the side, like in its own zone. So like a step above hidden where like it can't even be targeted by like removal spells. Might be cool to see.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so. I'd like to see some of these mechanics be used again. I know, like, I don't know if that's just, I guess that's kind of a TCG thing. I don't know, but like.
No, man, I'm on that same train. Like, bring more smuggle cards.
Smuggle, especially. It really is what I'm looking for.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that coordinate. That was kind of a bad mechanic, I think.
Yeah, I mean it definitely works more often than people give it credit for. But I think they just underpowered a lot of the same with the exploit. They just underpowered everything, trying to err on the side of caution, and they've talked about that as well. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see more exploit, more different ways to just play cards. Like really, like I think the coordinates just kind of like, oh, it's activates when you have this many. That's not really giving you more options of how to play and have a strategy where exploit is like, well, I can play it with no cost, or I can play it with 6 and like, especially like, I think OC Sobek is one of like my favorite exploits because when it changes, it includes the capture mechanic, which I think is underrated a little bit. It also includes an exploit, and depending on how much you exploit or don't exploit, depends on how much you can capture. So I think it's like a perfect card of all their mechanics rolled into that.
Yeah. Speaking of capturing, I know Hippo Rick was trying real hard this week to make was it unit Rule of Respect, the card that if you attack, it's a Shadows card. Yeah. Where if you attack, you capture any number of units that attack your base. He was trying real hard to make that work this week, so that was fun to see. Experimenting.
Shout out to Sanctioner Subtle too, right? Like coordinate capture card. Very nasty. Gets me from time to time when it's Darth 4 out here.
Yeah. Cool. When we talk a little bit about, so we talked about the sector, and that, like I said, it was the biggest event at that time, but then not a week later, we got shown up by our European friends, and they had the Lily. I don't want to like say it wrong, but
Should just be Lil.
they had about a little shy of 900 players, so that's awesome.
Jeez.
You know, it's cool to see the game just going that big. I think I looked it up a couple times. Like I was curious, like what other TCG games were like their biggest events. I think I looked at Pokemon. It was I think 1,200 was their like top event a couple years ago. So see that, and that our game's only a year old. You know, makes me hopeful that it's gonna stick around for a couple more than 5 years. So, so that took place over May the 4th weekend. And the winner of that was Sabine Data Vault. So
wow,
got the list pulled up there. So that's 2 back-to-back.
I just remember when everybody was telling us Data Vault sucks, and you should never play Data Vault, never do anything with that. And here we are, the top devs are playing Data Vault.
Yeah, a lot of them. I guess that 3 extra health is 3 extra health gives you, right?
Yeah,
makes a pretty big difference.
I guess those 10 extra cards really don't make that much of a statistical difference in your drawing.
Yeah, I guess now we have a.
Actually, I think people are using it opposite right now. I really do. I think that people are using it opposite. They're loading in their sideboard into their main deck, and they're like, and this. Right. They're adding that extra 10 in. That's like the very niche sideboard card. So it's like I'm built for all these circumstances. Now here are these niche situations that I need to cover in my sideboard. And it's basically they're bringing what they sideboarded into the main. Here's these extra 10.
What I did with Asajj is I just really didn't have to cut any of the removal. That's really where we were at. It was a lot. I wasn't having to make a decision versus like, oh, how many of this removal do I want? How many of that removal? It's like, I just
have it all.
Have it all. There's my extra 10, and okay.
So I actually had a good time playing your deck. So we're doing the season 6 of the RVA Sui League, which you talked about last episode. So we're like on week 2. And I knew I was going up against Norma, and she plays Leia. So I know my Pia deck was just going to get crushed because it always does. So I wanted to try your deck out because I knew it was really aggressive and, face bound for the most part. So that did really well against her deck. It was close. She like almost got me, but I managed to.
Yeah, I wouldn't have played it against Leia if you knew you were going to play that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to play Sabine against it, and I wanted to try something that was a little more in my wheelhouse, which is some removal, some ramp,
right?
And the ship. So like I figured that was the best shot I had, and I got lucky for sure. Yeah. But that was fun. So yeah, Data Vault. I know. Paul has been kind of playing around with Ray Data Vault.
Yeah. A lot actually. Now I think I've I won my 2 ranked matches in the RBA Sui League with Ray Data Vault. So I'm on the rise. Nick is the only person that's beaten me so far with his Asajj, and I was playing Han Green at the moment, which Han holds a special spot. So I keep on trying to make that work, and I actually got really upset with Han Green. I was like, man, I'm just getting beat up by everybody. Right. And started to search around and do some research and looking at some of these results and kind of extrapolating cards, you know what I mean? Like I like this, I don't like that, and my Ray Data Vault's been coming along pretty good, and I like it, and it's got some legs. The problem is that honestly, everything blue-green right now has got legs. And I think that you're gonna find that in the meta. You're gonna see it. Like I think that's where we're headed in this conversation, is that you're gonna see the whole meta. I believe the top of the food chain is gonna be blue-green, and it doesn't matter which direction it's coming from. It can be villainy, it can be heroism. You're gonna see Ray Data Vault. You're gonna see Obi-Wan Data Vault. You're gonna see Asajj Data Vault. You're gonna see
Sabine Data Vault, apparently.
Sabine Data Vault.
I don't know if you'll see
I think Data Vault's in the top right now.
Yeah. So that's a great segue.
I saw Kira Data Vault on Lil was in the top as well.
Yeah. That's a great segue into our next kind of topic, which is we're going right into back into PQ season. So next weekend is the PQ down at Battlegrounds. Are you guys both going? I know I'm signed up.
No, I have my daughter. So.
I'm still on the fence. I might be, I might not be. I'm waiting to find out my total schedule. But if it's free, I'll be there.
Well, I'm going for sure. I don't know what I'm playing yet, but I know some of our locals, like the two Ricks, or we're talking about what we're going to play, what we're expecting to see, and I think it's gonna be Sabine and Kira's for days. I think that's what I'm probably feeling like we're going to see down there. A lot of like aggression decks, a lot of like low to the ground, wide decks. I think Quinlan's still going to be a problem. He's still going to be around, but I'm actually considering not running a control deck. I think I'm looking at maybe just saying screw it and take Sabine ECL, Sabine Data Vault. I thought about trying out Kira. Yeah, Saj would be fun. I do like her. She's fun.
It's that's what I felt like. It was a fun deck to play. Like it wasn't just your normal like control. Like there's some other tweaks to it that gives you a little bit more interesting take.
So I got about a week to figure out what I'm playing, and I'm thinking, Kira, I guess technically control deck. I've never really soft control. Yeah, I've tried her a few times. I didn't think. I don't know. I'm happy for the people who find success with her. I haven't been able to figure her out quite yet. So maybe in the next couple of days I'll give that a try. But the PQ coming up real quick. So kind of along those lines, I think Paul was kind of wondering what spicy plays we've seen in the last week or two. Something that either caught you off guard or people are in this experimenting phase now that the local sector is at least done. One that got me over this week, I went to locals. I was able to make it because I was supposed to work, but ended up being able to go. Our winner, one of our 3-0s, was actually a Kazuda deck. Played it really well, Mike, and him and I got paired at first round and just kept doing things that I wasn't like counting for. Like he would play Trench Run on a unit that he just blanked out their abilities, so he'd be hitting me with like 7-10 damage without the risk of destroying your own ship on Trench Run. So that one caught me off guard. I don't remember exactly what he played. I think he had like a red Y-wing or something with a pilot on it and Trench Run, and it steamrolled into my Piet deck. So shout out to Mike for, I think he went 3-0. Nice. Really good deck. I did get to steal his AT hauler a couple times. That was fun.
I did that to Paul quite a bit when he was playing the little Han deck.
Yeah.
Was there something that caught you?
I don't know that I had anything that like was crazy because I haven't played much since Sectors. I would say that Vader yellow deck, just the amount it's able to like just get out even with like removal. Even though you're removing like the main ships that allow Vader to add another X-wing, it wasn't even that. It was like, oh, this exhausts your unit, this one exhausts your unit. That's like, I didn't have enough space to really deal with it. And at least the first time, the way my play pattern was just poor, and then the second time I played it and beat it, I was able to like learn from those mistakes and not resource space units, not like discard them, keep them, try to get my turn 1 space unit out. That way I can just ping with Asajj. It makes it a lot easier. But yeah.
But you, Paul, I know you were able to hit up the locals this week too.
Yep, I went to locals down in Williamsburg and stuff like that. So what I have noticed and have seen fluctuate from difference is sort of like the U-wing reinforcement situation. Not U-wing reinforcements, but this is more along the line of Bounty Hunters, Quarry, and Vader. Right? And what has been happening to me that I never expected is that these decks, regardless if they're heroism, if their villainy are running blue leader and they're pulling them off of the bounty hunter's quarry, and they're pulling them off of the Vader pole, and they're dropping them in for free, and they're pumping them up, and it's like, wait a minute, what just happened? I got hit by Vader and a blue leader? Really? Like, swap, there goes a unit, swap, there goes another unit. It's like, man, it's just so spicy, especially early game when it's a bounty hunter, like first turn bounty hunter's quarry. Oh, I swing in, kill the unit, whatever the case might be. And then pop, here comes the blue leader at 5/5 for only 2. And that's coming out of heroism and vigilance, or heroism and villainy. So, something to think about.
You should be able to pull blue leader off of Vader. So I don't know who did that to you.
No, I think he's talking about the quarry, Banner's quarry.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, he said Vader in there. Like, you should be able to pull it off of Vader because
it might have been like just an overlook in that sense, but like that's what I've been seeing is stuff like that happening. Just the fetch cards for 3. They're out here fetching blue leader.
It's a good card. It's one of my favorites from the set for sure. All the different plays you can do on that one, especially when they hate that ship.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I was kind of just wrapping this episode up with Richmond PQ. Sounds like it just might be me going, but hoping get Paul to come down and we'll scrub out after round 2, and then we go eat some crab legs.
Still out here trying to get me to eat the crabs. No, I don't have a problem with crab legs, man. We love crab.
Cool.
I mean, I'm hoping to make it to PQs, man. I'll see what my schedule entails, but as long as I'm free, I'm coming through, and that's a likely possibility.
It does not look like I'm going to make any of the PQs. So
I know.
They're all weekends I have my daughter. At least the ones around here.
In all fairness, you're already going to Worlds, so like you don't need an invite.
No, I don't need the invite. But
we're also starting to see some of the stores schedule the showdowns. Your hobby place is scheduled there, so you guys should get the link. I'll send it to you guys to get in there. It's last Wednesday of the month. So take off the next morning because they're maybe going to be there till 1 a.m. again.
I don't think I'm going to be able to make that one, unfortunately, since it's a weekday. But
I know Curio.
I'm hoping to get a Saturday one somewhere. Maybe I can convince some random LGS to run there.
Born to Games is coming up soon. Perhaps
that was this weekend.
Oh, well, they're coming up. I know Curio is looking to schedule their showdown. I think theirs will probably be on a Saturday or Sunday, so that might be one we go to.
Yeah.
All types of events happening. So I've been on I think a month and a half straight of events every Saturday for me. Like I had Richmond Open was last weekend where I helped do the Legion tournament. Didn't unfortunately get to play in the Unlimited event because I was dying and I had to go home and sleep. Tomorrow, me and Paul are going to play some Halo. I got a little tournament I'm playing, running at your hobby place. So, and then next weekend's PQ. So I'm just, back to back weekends of hobbying all the time. So
nice.
Yeah. It's a
good life.
It's a simple life. Awesome. So it's been good. Yeah, we're trying to get back into our rhythm here. Like I said, I've been sick and been traveling, and the Canes have been playing. So
yeah. Tough time for me. Every night's hockey night.
Hockey.
No, just a big fight just a second ago in the Maple Leafs game there. Some dude ran right into the goalie, and another dude might have got a concussion.
I do of all the sports balls. I do like the hockey's the most because all the fights and all the the fun non-game stuff that happens during those. So
don't go to Caps games, man. Those guys will cry about every clean hit they're in.
Hey now. Cool. I don't have much else. Anything you guys want to close on? Good to be back.
Canes.
Yeah. Good good to be back. We'll hopefully get more on our regular schedule here. We just life happens, so it's been like 2 weeks we had our episode, but looking forward. We're hoping to get in contact with some of the FFGOP people to see if we can hear back from them and hopefully get one of them on. But if not, we'll keep trucking on, see if we can get some
get back to the
for some spoilers.
We'll get back to the Epic Journey stuff too. I know I owe people video. So we'll get the sequence of my play up until sectors, and then I've been messing around with some of the editing software here on my side, so we'll see how it goes.
Could give you guys an editing lesson.
Yeah. So. Got a new computer, so it should work now.
Yeah. It's awesome. Cool. So I think that's it for us. Let's land the ship. So epic action, Raul.
Nick.
Well, I gotta get a nickname for you here for the end credits here. So it'll be a surprise to me too once I edit it. So all right, guys. Thank you everyone for hanging out. We'll catch you next time.